Okay, go.
Hello, my name is Sherry, and right now I'm going to be talking about body image problems, also known so bigorexia or muscle dysmorphia. And what I'm going to be talking about is what is muscle dysmorphia and the signs and symptoms of muscle dysmorphia, the risk factors associated with this problem, why are men getting muscle dysmorphia, who's it affecting, and the treatment of muscle dysmorphia, and I'm going to talk about how my response is going to make a difference. So first, what is muscle dysmorphia? Muscle dysmorphia is a body image problem that mainly affects men, also known as bigorexia, which is the exact opposite of anorexia, where people want to get super skinny, but on the opposite side, men, but people want to get super big, like super muscular. Like men want to do this to boost their confidence by improving their physique and to be like superheroes that they see in movies, like for example Thor and the Hulk. So see, that's him right here. This is Chris Hemsworth. As you see, he's pretty buff actually. See, as compared to his muscularity. And I quoted a man named Nathan Costello, who said this: "The truth is, I think I just wanted acceptance. I was very skinny and I wanted to feel more confident. I guess that's where it started. The world automatically rewards people who look good. But there aren't enough people who want to be vulnerable to talk about how they're feeling." Let's say, well, according to what this man's saying, because he was a very skinny dude and he wanted to get bigger because that's what society respected people who are big and strong, like men. And the last one, he mentioned I didn't want to be vulnerable to talk about, like people who want to be vulnerable to talk about their own feelings, like they hide their own feelings and put on this tough mask. And sports such as wrestling, boxing, American football is like where these athletic expectations kick in. Let's say, for example, like you want to sign up for a football team and say, oh, you're not big enough. And that's where they take the huge steps. Like men that have bigorexia are obsessed with the need to get bigger because they don't feel like they're muscular enough. And they take huge steps and they don't realize that this picture is photoshopped and I put that there on purpose. And they want to take unrealistic measures to achieve this body image. And here are like some examples. You see Rich Piana right here. You see he's really shredded and really big. And the truth is he died last year, on August 25, 2017. And right here is a female bodybuilder. I got this from the Generation Iron website. And right here is a guy whose back is completely shredded and big. And here is a picture, it's a perfect example of self-image because this man is pretty buff. His body shaped like an hourglass. See an hourglass?
Yeah.
And as he looks at himself in the mirror, he sees a completely different thing because he sees himself as very skinny, but the truth is he's really buff. And that's when the negative self-image kicks in. And men are filled with the obsession that they're too small, like the picture I just showed you about self-image. And they take extreme steps, like even includes exercising excessively, like taking harmful diets and using steroids. And the big thing is media exposure. Like you see in films, movies, magazines. You see Most Fitness magazine right here with Dwayne Johnson in the middle of it. Like they feel the cultural pressure, that's what they have to be like. Like say, for example, men have to be as big and strong as Arnold Schwarzenegger and Dwayne Johnson and other male celebrities. And for example, moving on to anorexia, like the women aspire to be like all the supermodels they see on TV. And they take extreme steps to move on to that goal. And statistics quote that this body image disorder affects 90% of men and 10% of women. So women also get muscle dysmorphia, but way more men get muscle dysmorphia than women. And we're up to the signs and symptoms. So these signs and symptoms are the overwhelming belief that no matter how hard they train and work out, they don't feel satisfied with their muscularity. And they take steroids and other bodybuilding products, extreme workout methods. They use like protein supplements. They eat more, like the excessive focus on like more food and extremely healthy foods. And they work in spite of injury, no matter if they have an injury down here or up here or in their arms, they just do it no matter what an injury they have. And another one is constantly looking at oneself in the mirror. And say he looks at himself in the mirror, he still sees himself as weak.
Mm-hmm.
And the risk factors associated with it. So these risk factors are frequent injuries due to overexercise, like the muscles get too much injury because they've been taking on too much work, exercising too much, like damage to muscles, joints, and tendons, kidney damage, liver damage, and heart problems. And these mental effects, and this body image problem also has mental effects like post-traumatic stress, anger, depression, and suicide, which causes people to feel depressed if they are not satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on to why men get muscle dysmorphia. The reasons why men get muscle dysmorphia is because of bullying. Let's say, for example, they were bullied in school because of the body image. They say, oh, you're not buff enough. You need to eat some more. And they get picked on constantly because of that. And negative self-image, as I showed you this picture right here, it's a negative thing that he's thinking of. Social pressure from the media. And according to this picture right here, like 45% of men aged 18 to 24 feel the pressure to look perfect. 7% of 55s and over don't feel this pressure. And the interesting thing is, like, people that are older than 55 don't see this as a problem. Like, it does affect me. I'm not as young as them. They are. And 35% of them blame peer pressure in the gym. 54% blame peers and social media, because that's one reason why they get dissatisfied, because they see other bigger, stronger guys posting their images of them on social media, say, oh, I need to be like one of these dudes in order to be buff. Like cultural pressure, athletic expectations, chemical imbalance, steroid abuse, comparison, so comparing themselves to other guys that are bigger and more muscular than they are, and they see themselves as nothing, basically. And genetic disorder, like where they get their genetics from, whether their dad or the grandfather that's had it. And who is it affecting? So this mainly affects men, obviously, and it affects adolescents and teenagers, like me. Like I'm a teenager, I'm 17, and they want to build up more muscle to make themselves bigger, stronger, more muscular. And teenagers feel this cultural pressure very easily. Mm-hmm. They say, oh, this is what I have to be like. And they're easily influenced by mass media, workout diets, and like superheroes. They want to be like one of these superheroes that they see on TV, like Thor, like Dwayne Johnson, like the people in action movies. Yeah. And according to a study from University of Sydney, this affects 90% of men, 10% of women. And as you can see, this is Muscle Fitness magazine right here. And this guy's named 50 Cent. He's a rapper, he's a movie star, and he's a businessman. So the treatment of this issue. So how can this be treated? So there are numerous ways to get help with muscle dysmorphia, and that's by going to the Butterfly Foundation, Eating Disorders Victoria. Like if you're closer to home here in Australia, if you're in Canberra, for example, there's Eating Disorders program run by ACT Health through ACT government. And it can be treated in a number of ways, like teaching people how to normalize eating patterns and exercise patterns, like say, for example, exercising 2 to 4 times a week. And they should have like a therapy to address obsessional thoughts about making extreme muscle and weight gains, assistance with extreme steroid abuse if possible, like say if they've been using steroids for quite a number of years, and like a mental health therapy, including group therapy, like psychotherapy. Like everyone is in a group, let's say, like, so how has this affected you? Like, how did you get it? And he'll go into details about it. And he would ask, how can I get free from this issue? Like what can I do to stop having this muscle dysmorphia? And using other people, like what I want people to do with this information is to utilize this information to give it out to people who have muscle dysmorphia, because like men that have muscle dysmorphia don't see it, they don't see needs to get help. So just persuading them to get help is like one of the biggest steps they can take towards recovery. And it can also be treated by seeking help from family and organizations like peers, friends. Seek assistance from a gym coach, like say how to normalize the